Alright, hey everybody, ModelMan here, and with the antenna module there's still a few things to do with it in actuality, such as glue these bars down. These three bars can be recut to be as nice an angle as that guy there. This one is all set. The antenna rotates, swivels, and rotates. The pod still needs to have the hand glued back on. The whole thing is friction fit together. I'll talk about the brass stand in a second. This is essentially essentially what I wanted to go with this composition, if you will, was to replicate one of the photos on Scott Alexander's site advertising the kit, having the two of these together similarly so. I was just simply going to replicate that. However, I've got the idea to replicate something more from the film itself, so that's going to take some moving around, but before that I just wanted to get this down to see as it was, and when I initially cut it you can probably see there that I patched this over, always intending to do either refinish the entire surface or to use it as a copy for another. So I'll be taking an etching of that, and right now the kit is actually offset to the grain of the wood. So I'm going to have to match this up to the new grain of the wood. I may or may not keep the switch here and put it in line coming out. And that's the basics of how this is going to go. As for how it's going to be laid out, it's going to be something more like this. Not quite though. The module itself is not parallel to the table right there, so it would be more like this or lower. And this guy, the back would be facing towards the antenna, with the lights shining pretty much perpendicular out from the wall. So you'll still be able to see the front from one side, and then this would be the moment before Pool exits the pod. If I could get a 1/35th Pool figure to float in the middle, I would definitely do that. And then simply cut that door open completely, even though it's a mess of wires inside. So I'm going to have to get a copy of this pattern, and you can see how much these wobble. It's always been a bit of a freeform, and it works well with the triangle setup in the pod itself. So even if it's a little offset one way, it can be fixed the other. And these actually have some nail holes at the ends to help stabilize them on the far side. And speaking of the back side, I'll pretty much be following the same pattern. I do have a router attachment that I just might dig out. Whether I keep the switch in the panel or not, probably not, just to keep it simpler. I can put the switch in line with the power down lower. So it'll simply be a matter of lining up wherever the pod intercepts and bringing the line down. The new board looks much nicer. And of course already cut are the hooks and wires to hold it onto the wall, so that's already built into the situation. In fact, why don't I get the new plaque now, because there's not a lot more to do on this, so I may as well work on this for a little bit. And here is the new plaque. You know, looking at it, my wife might want to do this in several tones of Jupiter colors, perhaps. I could definitely go for that. I'd hate to paint these black and put the spaceships in front of that, because that's kind of lame. I think for these, I want to do something special. And having them all with this lacquered pine round, I'd eventually get little brass labels for the bottoms of them. I think that'd make them really nice. However, to paint any of them, as a Jupiter situation. Light watercolor tone type levels of things. Probably a really washed oil, I imagine, would work perfectly with this. Now there's some nice potential. And on the back side, we've already got it wired to hang, so it's just a matter of drilling on the front. I'm going to have to get a towel in here to lay this front on, because I definitely don't want to damage this surface. So it's going to be a matter of penciling in some lines, copying from the other spot, figuring out where things are going to go, and do some drilling. So I took a magic marker to the pod, black. This should be more of a gold, but it came out a bit orange for the mix. They're a little bit bigger than I would have liked. Going with a fine point Sharpie would have been the ideal. There's going to still be a few other small colors to put around as well. I just got to check reference first. And on this guy, I still have to put new googly eyes back on and glue the hand. Over here with the module, the antenna's off in protective custody right now, so it doesn't get messed up at all.